What's up, people? What's up, people? How you all doing? It's a new day. It's Friday, and this is the free clarity call. This is the free clarity call. I'm super excited to be on your face today. Yes, yes, yes. If you're excited, um, mm, please catch me live. If you're here, just let me know you're watching me live. Just let me know you're joining live. Let me know where you're joining from. Let me know if you're watching live. Just drop a comment, basically. Let me know if you're live with me. So, my name is Bisola Miriam, and today I will be talking to you on the topic. I'm going to edit my title, right? Different topic today. Today, we're going to be looking at, can I relocate abroad with my family? So the question is, can I relocate abroad with my family? Can I relocate abroad with my family? Okay, that's the question for today. And I'm going to be answering these questions by going straight to the point. I'm going to be answering these questions by going straight to the point. Okay, so how exactly do you relocate abroad with your family? How exactly do you relocate abroad with your family? You see, a lot of times so let me make this really straightforward. Let me make this really straightforward. So this is something I would like to explain to everyone, and it's the fact that when it comes to getting a fully funded scholarship, there are a number of things that people miss. You see, a lot of people actually would get a fully funded scholarship, or they might even be given an offer letter. And after they have received funding, they then go for visa interview. And then after the visa interview, because they failed to actually put certain things together, they ended up being denied visa. Usually, when you do not understand the process or the nitty-gritty or the intricacies of getting a fully funded, and most importantly, getting a visa and being able to go out of your country to that foreign country where you want to study, you're going to be shooting yourself in the leg. And here is what I mean. Imagine going through the process of actually applying, securing that funding, and at the end of the day, you are denied visa because when you went for your visa interview, you went with your family members. Now, it's not like they are against you relocating with your family members, but the only thing that you need to one thing you need to understand is you don't go for a visa interview with the plan to relocate with family if you cannot demonstrate that you have strong ties with your own country. So the very first thing you need to bear in mind when you're going for your visa interview is not to get overly excited about, oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to go with my family. I'm going to go with my kids. I'm going to go with my husband, my wife, and all of that. It makes sense. It's a good deal, right? But first of all, ask yourself, what is the situation on ground? So for instance, a lot of people who went for visa interview, who are going for visa interview, especially now that there is COVID, a number of things would a number of things are very important and very crucial when you're attending a visa interview. First, understand that you are the primary applicant. You who has been given admission is the primary applicant. And so the priority is to get you to leave your own country first. And so the priority here is you getting out. The secondary desire is to relocate with your family. Don't miss the order. I want you to drop a comment in the chat. Do not change the order of prioritizing the relocation of your of the other members of your family at the detriment of your chance or your ability to relocate abroad. Understand that once you get in, it makes it very easy for whosoever it is that you want to invite to relocate with you or to come stay or be with you permanently or temporarily. So get the order right. The order is that you know that you are the priority for the government of the country where you're relocating to, especially if you are the primary applicant or the principal applicant. You are the priority. Understand that you need to get the facts. So when I say get the fact, understand the season and times. So what am I saying, season and times? You see, there are times that a lot of people are going for visa interviews and they are just denying them. That is not a time to carry every member of your family to your visa interview, especially if you've been engaging with people who have been complaining that there's a trend, or there's an increment, or there's an increase in the number of people who are being denied. So you want to understand the trend. Again, now, especially now that there is COVID, some countries would want to just prioritize people who are coming to study. They will not prioritize people who are planning to relocate. And understanding this, the how this really affects the chances of you and your family to relocate is very crucial. You may want to ask yourself, is it wise for you to go ahead and apply for a program, knowing fully well that you are the first person you are the one that will be able to travel, or that your family members will only get to join you later? So you need to really understand this. So when you get that clarity, thank you so much, your Yeleon, Yeleona Dob. Did I get the name correctly? So you need to understand that you are priority. Knowing that your priority does not mean that you must then jeopardize the chance or chances of your family relocating with you. So knowing the season and the time means that you ask people who have been going for visa interview, getting feedbacks from them, so you know whether you should actually go with members of your family during your very first interview, or perhaps you want to go and get your own visa interview sorted, and then maybe a few months later or few weeks later you then apply for your dependents to go for their own visa interview. That way you might even end up traveling with them, or perhaps you might arrange it in such a way that you leave your country first and then a few months later you apply for your dependents, right? It is very important that you understand this. If you're watching me live on Facebook, say I am live with you on Facebook, tell me your name, tell me where you're joining from. If you're watching me live on the YouTube channel, tell me your name, tell me where you're watching from. Engage in the comment section, drop your comments, drop your questions. It is very important that you know that clarity changes everything. And the more you know, the more clarity that comes your way, the better the better the level of awareness that you have. Thank you so much, Yola Nodrop, for joining me from Colombia. Someone is watching from Colombia on Instagram. Just let me know where you're watching from. Tell me what you're learning, what your questions are, and definitely I will do my very best to engage in the chats. It's an inclusive session, but definitely if you don't ask questions, there is no way I can know what is going on in your mind. So today I'm trying to answer the question, can I relocate abroad with my family? Yes, you can. But there are a couple of things that you need to bear in mind, especially if your plan is to relocate as a student. So if you're planning to relocate abroad with your family as a student, you must understand that you are the priority to the government of the country where you're planning to go study. And so do not change the order of priority or put your family before you, because the goal is to get you out there so that that opportunity can benefit your family. But if you jeopardize your chance or chances of getting that opportunity, the question is, how do you make that way for your family? Think about it. So understanding the order is very important. Secondly, understanding the season. Season means that you know the time when it is right for you to apply for your family members to relocate with you. Everything good takes time. Everything good takes time. Think about it. Anything that would happen suddenly, you should be careful. Anything that would happen suddenly, you need to be careful. Oh, if someone is suddenly going to give you money, if someone is suddenly going to become your friend, if someone is suddenly asking you out, if everything is happening too fast, you need to be wary. You need to be careful. Good things take time. Good things do what? Good things really take time. Ask yourself, good things what? Take time. Think about it. Good things take time. So you need to what? Ask yourself, how much time do you need to get everyone out there, especially if, for instance, you are going to study. You need to prioritize your living. And then you can invite your family members in 6 months or more or less, even after you have relocated. Now, in order to then relocate with your family members, there are a couple of things you need to make available. If you are studying abroad as a student, or if you're planning to go abroad as a student and you want to relocate with your family few months after, these are the things you need to begin to even plan or work towards before you leave. Number one, begin to save. You need money. Like, you need money. You need financial stability in order to support your dependent, your family members when they relocate with you eventually. You need money. You need money. Money is you putting some money somewhere. And I must say to you that you need a source of income that you can personalize. When I say personalize, begin to ask yourself, what are the ways I can begin to earn from my skill, from my expertise, from my creativity, or from my intellect? If you've not been thinking of writing a book or creating a course or building a coaching program from what you already know, but you always share for free, you need to start to think about that, because when you eventually relocate, even though you need money before relocating, you would even need more money after you relocate. So you need money. Money is very important. You need funds. The funds you need to show at the embassy that, oh, you can take care of your family members. You must provide. You must present it. You must show it. You need money after they eventually relocate to be with you. You need to take care of your dependents, because if you cannot take care of the dependents with you, sorry, you might stand the risk of the government taking away your child or your children or your dependents away from you. I'm sure you don't want that. So you need financial stability to be able to support your dependents or family members. Money is good, especially the money that you make from your knowledge, from your skill, from your intellect. I mean, I'm a knowledge entrepreneur, right? And I make cool money from just doing what I love to do: teaching, coaching, writing books, and creating courses. So if you must learn how to even make money from what you currently know, but you share for free, you should talk to me. You should follow the link. Just send me a DM or drop a comment in the chat, and I'm going to be engaging with you. You need money. And money is not necessarily what you're working 24/7 for. It can even come from gifts. It can come from what you deserve based on the services that you provide. Remember that there is abundance out there, and if you do not ask, you cannot get. And so you need to begin to position yourself as someone who has skills or who has a solution to the problem of others so that you can earn. Let me share this hack with you. When you eventually relocate abroad, there's something very interesting that happens. You have access to internet, power supply, and many of those things you would have them in abundance. And sometimes you're asking yourself, what do you do with your internet? What do you do with the power supply that you have? The good thing is, when you know about creating knowledge product, as in creating courses, writing books, or designing coaching programs, all of those things you can build digitally and begin to make money from. In fact, people will pay you passively without you working every of the week. Money keeps coming into your bank account, and then you are still earning while you're also schooling. I mean, you're getting paid as a student, and all of these different multiple streams of income, come to your bank account, and that is so beautiful. And that way, you can support your dependents even more. So, while you're planning to relocate, begin to ask yourself, how can you increase your sources of income so that you have more than enough resources to prove that you can take care of your dependents when you eventually relocate? Does this make sense? Let me know if you're finding this content really useful. Drop a comment in the chat and I'd like to hear from you. Is this really useful? Would you want to share this? Make sure you share, make sure you drop a comment, and most importantly, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you are the first to know anytime I go live. But make sure that you do not just click the subscribe button, but you also click on that bell and turn on the notification bell to all of my content so that anytime I go live or I post any new video, you are the first to know, right? And so you need money. I've talked extensively about that. The next thing you want to bear in mind is you need a support. You need to plan for a support system. You need to plan for a support system. Before you relocate, ask yourself, oh, for those periods when you have to try to put the document together, for those periods when you have to try to, prepare for exams, get the resources that you need, or perhaps even go for your book one appointment or the other, or to try to get your document for relocation, you need a support system at that stage. Eventually, when you relocate, you need a support system. So ask yourself, what are you doing to build that support system so that when you eventually relocate, you are not stranded? You don't want to be stranded. So ask yourself, what support system do I have? So that when you eventually leave, you are not stranded. And before you leave, you are also not stranded. Because one of the very crucial questions that you will be asked at the embassy is, for instance, when you're going for classes, where will you keep your kids? Where will your dependents be? So these are the kind of questions they would ask you. So if you do not plan in advance, you will not be able to give them convincing response or answer to that question at the embassy. So would you want to get to the embassy and look all confused when you can actually get all the facts or all the things that you need to sort them off your list, so that as you're going in front of that consular officer or that embassy representative, you know what you're doing, you know what to say, because you have clarity. First of all, you have money. You also know the questions or the very tricky questions they would ask you, and you have ready answers. Be prepared. And so prepare in advance for a support system, and prepare even before you leave your country, because you're going to be doing a lot of running around. And if you don't begin to get used to the idea of building a support system around your children, especially if you have kids, it will be difficult for you to build that kind of support system when you eventually relocate. I hope this makes sense. So you need to learn to build relationships. Building relationships would really help you before you relocate with your kids or family members, and even after you relocate. And most importantly, what's the long-term plan? Ask yourself, what is the long-term plan? So because because you're a family person, you need to begin to really think ahead and say to yourself, okay, now that I'm going to study abroad with my children or with my family members, what is the long term plan? Do I want to keep staying in that state, or do I have plans of changing to another state few months or few years after? Or do I have plans to relocate or stay permanently abroad? You need to start thinking about this even before you relocate with your family members. Because if you fail to think about these questions, you are going to be subjecting your dependent to undue mental stress, especially if you're moving from one state to another, from one country to another, from one location to another. So it is very important that you ask yourself, what is my long-term plan? And if you know your long-term plan, it makes sense to you begin to really understand that in advance, right? You need to understand that in advance so that when you check out, you are not just staying in one state, doing one program, and then maybe a year or 2 years after you're relocating to another state. Bear in mind that if you're a family person, you will not, I mean, selfishness is something you really need to put in you will be selfish when you're trying to make calculative decisions, but when you're trying to really get clear as to what must be done when you eventually relocate and as you're trying to settle, then you need to be pragmatic as much as you need to be calculative. More than being calculative, you need to also be emotional in some instances. Be emotional in the sense that you need to understand that despite that it could make sense that you move from the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa to University of Chicago in maybe in Illinois, right? It makes sense, right? It makes logical sense because maybe they are giving you more money. But emotionally speaking, like ask yourself, how would this impact your children when you're relocating to when you eventually settle in? Is it going to be an environment? Is it an environment where you can raise kids? Or would your kids be able to make friends there? Because it's no longer going to be about you when you eventually settle abroad with your kids or your family members. So you need to then ask yourself, how would your relocation plan affect their ability to socialize, their chances of settling fully and really acclimatizing in one environment part time, and most importantly, how would it impact your finance? What would your social support look like? How would it impact your academic life? All of these things are what you must ask yourself even as you plan to relocate abroad. Just to say a little bit more about how that is going to impact your academic life. You see, as a graduate student here, there are times that you will go for classes between 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. West African time. And so, if you do not begin to understand the importance of schedule or planning, you might not be able to really give those family members of yours that kind of support, that kind of attention, the kind of attention they will need from you. Despite that you're a student, you're still going to be a mother to the children, or a wife to a husband, or a husband to a wife. You have different roles, different responsibilities. And so ask yourself how your role as a student would be impacting the different roles that the different roles that you have, right? And so it is very crucial that you get clear as to how rigorous your program of interest is even before you apply, so that when you eventually apply, you know that you're applying for a program that would also enable you to support your children, your husband or your wife, and also support be there for your friends, because you need to build relationships with other people, and a program that would also not that would also give you the financial capacity or resources to be able to support your family members. And let me also say this, it is very important that you choose your programs long ahead. When you're trying to apply to get a fully funded scholarship, a lot of people will say, if I apply this month, can I get admission decision the same month? Or can I not leave my country that very month? The process to getting a fully funded scholarship is intensive and it is systemic, and you need to plan ahead. So it could even take you from 6 months to a year to actually plan, so that when eventually you want to kick off the process, you are not going to be struggling. You are not going to be making a lot of mistakes. So let me share this. To relocate abroad is not a complicated thing, but knowing this route, the method, or the approach is very important. For instance, are you going to be relocating as a student? If you are going to be relocating as a student, then you must decide the program you want to apply for long ahead. How many months will it take you to apply for that program and get in? Think about it. How does this process of relocating abroad, how will it impact your finance even before you relocate? I mean, what plans do you need to start making in order to save money so that when you go for your visa interview, you have a proof of fund to show that you can support your family members? And most importantly, bear in mind the technical aspect of your visa application. I mean, how does the idea that you're going with a family, how does that impact your chance or chances of getting visa? You need to know that. If you know that, it makes it easy for you to attend the visa interview with clarity. Clarity in the sense that you know whether, based on the season, that it makes sense that you go for a visa interview first or you go with all other members of your family if you're applying as a student. And of course, it also helps you prepare ahead to it also helps you prepare ahead whether you need what you need to do in order to start building that social support even before you relocate, or the skills to be able to build social relationships or interact with people. Because as a family person, you're going to be relying on people. And so you need to build those social skills to be able to rely, or, to be able to get people to readily help you when you need them to, right? It is very crucial. And another thing I would like to share with you is, if, of course, the plan is to relocate, if, of course, you have the option of relocating with all members of your family at the same time, maybe you're not going to school to study. You also need to think about finance. Most importantly, you also need to think about social support. Even if you're not thinking about the program, maybe you already have someone who wants to invite you. But hey, money is very important, and planning or getting social support before or after is very crucial. And let me also say this as we come to the end of this live broadcast. You really need to ask yourself what the long term plan is, what the big picture is. What exactly is the big picture? You need to ask yourself, what is the big picture for you? What is the big picture going to look like for your family? When I mean big picture, basically what I'm trying to ask you is, do you see yourself fully becoming an academic? Like, do you see yourself becoming a professor? Do you see yourself becoming a professional? Professional, maybe a lawyer, business, a businessman, a business person, or a medical doctor? You need to ask yourself, where do you see yourself? And how does that future fit into the future of your family? You need to really ask yourself. So when I say that, I'm saying that because you don't want to relocate and move to one part of Canada, maybe Ontario, and then the next minute you're moving to Montreal, because it's no longer going to be about you. You're going with people. And so you need to ask yourself, am I going to be moving from pillar to post? It is very crucial. So it is not difficult to relocate abroad, but the route that you choose and the systems or the intricacies and complexities that surround that route is something you must really understand before you begin to make plans to relocate abroad, either as a student going abroad to study with children or family members, or perhaps you're just planning to relocate on a permanent residence basis. And really knowing the processes governing these different routes to relocate abroad is something you must learn. The earlier you master this, the better, because you need to understand that as you begin to make that plan to better your life, think about the way that is going to impact your family members. Now, I'm not even just talking about the family members that will be relocating with you. I'm also talking about the family members that will be back home that might never be able to relocate with you. You need to also put them in this whole plan, because whether you like it or not, you need your family, whether they are those who are with you or those who won't be with you. So think about how your new goal is going to overlap or override or affect or intersect with the old life that you used to live, perhaps as someone living somewhere in Africa and now planning to relocate abroad. And so, if your plan is to relocate abroad, let me share this with you. I am a study abroad coach with over 7 years of experience, and I've been working closely with scholars looking to study abroad on a fully funded scholarship. And in fact, I also equip scholars who are relocated abroad or who are still in the process of relocating abroad. I teach them the skills they need to be able to digitally make money from their knowledge, their skill, and expertise. Because one of the realities of living abroad is that the money is never enough. And so I teach scholars in advance and even after they leave that they can actually digitize their knowledge, their skills, their talents, their experiences, or creativities so that they learn the strategies to making passive income from what they already know. And how does this play out? By teaching them how to create books, courses, or coaching programs. Now, I also work, what I do with the Bisola Miriam brand is divided into two primary initiatives. That is the Study Abroad and Impact Africa initiative, where we coach scholars, and of course the Profit in Millions Academy, where we equip scholars with the skills to actually monetize their skills, talent, creativity, or gifts. Now, if you're watching this live broadcast and right now you're wondering or you're considering relocating abroad and you don't know how to get started and you're worried and you are just apprehensive as to what exactly the process is about, let me make you this offer. If you chat me on my WhatsApp number, which is +234 8024957386, and of course you would see that that number is in the description of this video. You would learn from me what exactly you need to do right now in order to get started. And perhaps you already have an idea of how this process works and you do not know whether you should kick off the process right now or whether it's something you need to do in the long term. You need clarity and you still need to talk to me. Talking to me is not just what I would offer you, but I will share with you the steps as to how exactly you need to get a fully funded scholarship. Most importantly, I would help you design a plan that will suit your academic goals, your professional goals, and of course your family goals, so that you are not just getting a fully funded scholarship and then after getting fully funded scholarship, you don't even know what to do with your life after you have studied abroad. I would equip you, I will support you, and I will build a lasting system that will take you to studying abroad. Not just someone who is going to study abroad, but someone who will build a sustainable financial system even while studying abroad and after studying abroad. And most importantly, I will equip you with the steps to actually settling abroad legally without committing crime and without even compromising your values. And if this sounds like what you need, then you need to chat me on my phone number, on my WhatsApp number. The WhatsApp number is +234 8024957386. I would repeat that, +234 8024957386. Now let me share this amazing offer. I am working with 100 people in the scholarship guaranteed account in what I call the 100 Scholars Club. I have a program that is launching on the 31st of this month. It is called the 100 Scholars Club. The 100 Scholars Club is designed specifically to help only 100 scholars who are looking to study abroad on a fully funded scholarship between now and the next 6 months to 1 year, with a step-by-step guide as to how this process or this dream can become a reality. In this program, you get access to my book, and in my book, which is worth $39, you're going $39.99, you're going to be learning the different names of schools abroad that offer full funding. In addition to that, you're going to be seeing in my book the different strategies for connecting with these schools that offer funding. You're also going to be learning in my book the ways to actually know whether this program or this school would offer you full funding or not. And most importantly, you're also going to be learning in my book the different hacks and tricks to getting schools to waive application fees for you. And most importantly, you'll find in my book list of schools with application fee waivers, because that is usually one of the biggest concerns of a lot of people looking to study abroad on a fully funded scholarship. That's my book. Now, in addition to getting access to my book, which is worth $39, you also get access to my online course, which is worth $159.99. In this online course, you will find 7 modules. In the first module, I talked about mindset and mental shift. And on mindset, I basically explained to you why you need to remove certain mental blocks, spiritual ideologies, or family patterns, or negative beliefs, or whatever idiosyncrasy that you've been holding on to that have pushed you thus far but have not gotten you to where you need to go to. I'm going to be teaching you how to change your paradigm, how to change your mindset, how to go from thinking small to thinking big, how to go from thinking that you can get things done to really trusting your God. And in this program, in the first module of this course, you're going to be learning everything about mindset. Now, in the second module of this course, you're going to be learning about application story. Now, what is an application story? The application story is that basic idea. It is that original idea, the original motivation behind your program of interest. And I'm going to be showing you how exactly do you build an application story. Now, in the third module, you're going to be learning how to go from designing an application story to translating this application story into an academic interest. Basically, you're going to be learning how you can use your application story to identify the relevance of your interest in your community and, of course, on a global scale. And most importantly, you're going to be identifying several courses, different programs where your application story vis-a-vis your interest fits in. And in the third module of the course, you will learn how that really would work out. That's the outcome in that module, is that by the end of the third module, where you would have learned about application story and, of course, your letter of introduction, you will begin to learn, you would have built successfully letters of introduction that you begin to then send out to potential advisors. These potential advisors are the people who would respond to your emails, and based on their responses, you begin to identify the different places or schools where you can apply to. And in addition to that, let me share that in the fourth module, you're going to begin to put your other application document together. You're going to learn how to develop your statement of purpose, how to develop your resume. And guess what? You're not going to do all of this by yourself. There are templates to just adapt, and it's going to make your work really easy. In the sixth module of this program, you're going to be learning about taking exams and what exactly do you need to bear in mind if, for instance, you're planning to write standardized tests like the TOEFL, the GRE, or the SAT or LSAT, or whatever exam that you might need to prepare for. And perhaps what are the chances of even waiving these exams in the first place? Because there are options as to how you can avoid writing these exams for some programs, if not all. And lastly, in the seventh module, you're going to be learning the very important step that guarantees and demonstrates that you are now living abroad, which is getting a visa. And so I'm going to be sharing with you in the seventh module of this course, how exactly do you avoid a visa denial? Now, everything that I've shared with you so far, you're getting access to them in the 100 Scholars Club. And guess what? The online course is what you would have access to for free. The online course typically is worth how much? $159.99. The book is worth $39.99. In addition to all of this, you get access to me once a month in a live Q&A. Access to me once a month in a live Q&A, meaning that I would join you live on Zoom to answer your questions as you go through this process. And access to me on a monthly basis, typically access to me for 60 minutes that you would have free access to is worth $799. So if you think about $799 plus 159.99 plus 39.99, everything sums up to $999. $999. And you know what? You'd have access to everything worth $999 or $1,000 for only, guess what? For only $99. Yes, $99.99. That's just approximately $100. So you would not pay $1,000. You would only pay $100 or 99.99. Wow. This is an amazing offer that you don't want to miss. And if this sounds like what you need right now, make sure you follow the chart, like follow the number right there in the chart. Talk to me right now and I will get you started. You need to move from that state you are or that situation right now to have the abundance that your heart truly desires. Because remember, the abundance you want is right here. And everything that you need to make that abundance happen is inside of you. You just need someone to push it out. And that is my job, to push you to your goal, to help you achieve your dreams, and to give you clarity as to how to move from where you are to where you really desire to be. Abundance is here, and the fully funded scholarship is available and readily out there. But how do you get this? How do you achieve this? If you do not follow me right now and ask me what exactly you need to do to take this goal off the ground, follow the link right now. Chat me on the number +234-8024-957386 on WhatsApp +234-8024-957386. That's my WhatsApp line. Or perhaps you just shoot me an email at thestudyabroadconsulting@gmail.com. thestudyabroadconsulting@gmail.com. Follow the description of this video, and if you found this content really useful, subscribe, like this video, share it, download it, and make it go viral. Upload it on your status, and at least let's get this message of hope out there. Thank you so much for joining this live. Most importantly, drop a comment right now and let me know. Tell me you want my offer, and I will share with you further details as to how to get the 100 Scholars Club offer. Remember, it is $999, but right now, between today and the 25th of September, you get the chance to only pay $100. $100. Take this offer right now, or maybe things will never change. But if you take this offer, you're opening yourself to the possibilities of the abundance that the universe has to offer. Just $99 compared to the stress you will go through if you want to do this yourself. Just $99 just to have access to 7 years of experience. Just $99 to have access to coaching program, online book, online course, my book, and all other essay templates, in addition to 6-month full support at zero cost, in addition to accountability partner. All of this at $99 instead of how much? $999. All of this at only approximately $100 or $100 instead of $1,000. You don't want to miss this offer, because this offer ends on the 25th of September. And in addition to that, the first 10 people, the first 10 who take this offer, they get free access to my inner circle. And the inner circle, guess what, is an accelerated program for people who even want to get their results in 3 months to 6 months. So in 1 to 3 months. So if you take action right now, you get into my accelerated inner circle. You don't want to miss this offer, right? Take the decision right now. You get no chance like this every day. And so when an opportunity like this comes your way, make sure to grab it. Don't be a doubting Thomas, because it only takes one good choice, one good decision to change your life. I hope you do. God bless you. I love you, and abundance is here. I'll talk to you later. Bye. And thank you so much for watching.